It's time to pop the top off with Pub Talk. We are finally back. The College Football National Championship is set. Alabama versus Ohio State. We'll talk about that. We're also going to give you a recap of the NFL since we last talked. Talk about the playoffs coming up this weekend. And then we're going to taste some beers here at the end, some brown ales for you instead of doing hops since it's been a little while. But before we get to all that, Pub Talk is brought to you by Route 11 Chips. Football season is still here. Saturdays and Sundays are still about sitting on the couch watching football and eating. So you're going to need some chips, and Route 11 has got you covered. Since 1992, Route 11 has been chipping away to give its consumers a great and tasty product. So make sure you check out your local Martin's Food Line and Giant to pick up a bag today. Okay, lights, beer, action. So I'm going to be honest with you, it's been a while.
Thanks to me.
Yeah, if you've ever seen Young Frankenstein, Coach was Igor the past couple of weeks.
I was Igor.
And if
I could be Igor. It could be Igor, you know.
If he was sitting in the chairs here, I'm telling you right now, he would be like hunched over. And
I was miserable
the
last time we did the show. I barely spoke. It was terrible. It's still not perfect. My hand's still numb, but it's the pain the discomfort I had in my neck and shoulder. It's way better now than what it was.
And ever since then, a lot of football has happened, and a lot has changed. And now it's playoff season for both college and NFL. We don't really talk about college this year, mainly because it's lost its, I don't want to say thunder, but I'll say that it's a lot different due to COVID reasons, and also the fact that the college football playoff still is in its same state where they were last year. And I'm not expecting them to change it, especially with the COVID regulations, but it's time to finally say it again and again and again until they realize it. It is not a playoff. It is an invitational more than anything.
I agree.
When they had the championship games, and the conference championship games, Alabama clearly deserves to be in the playoff. They clearly deserve it.
Yep.
Clemson, with the racking that they put on Notre Dame, deserved to be in the college football playoff. Ohio State, I don't know. You only played 6 games, and you barely got that 6th one in due to it being your conference championship game.
Yep.
And then Notre Dame.
And they had 2 questionable wins. You know, they played Penn State tight. And Penn State, at one point, they were like 1-5. And then they damn near lost to Indiana.
They should have lost to Indiana.
I don't
now
disagree.
that's all history in the past, because we'll get into that Clemson game because it's a completely different story. But Notre Dame, the 4th team, like they got 7 points on the board against Clemson. And this is different to what happened earlier in the season when they beat Clemson. Albeit Clemson was playing Ualagi, their backup quarterback, because Trevor Lawrence never stepped foot on the field because he tested positive for COVID. So he never played the game. And so they had a backup quarterback, and it took them to, double or triple overtime to beat that Clemson team? And then they had Trevor Lawrence on the field, and they scored 7 points, and they couldn't get out of their own heads. And they were chosen as the 4th best team in the country to compete for the national championship. And every single time this team gets into the playoffs, it is awful. It is hard to watch.
Even back to the BCS era.
Yeah.
When what was it, 97 or something crazy like that? They've just gotten blown out.
I think what was it? They've been outscored
a lot
by 144 points in the last 6 games, 5 or 6 games. You give up 100. You've been outscored 144 points. That's not like that's. They've given up 144 points in 5, maybe 6 games. That's a shit ton of points, man.
the 2012 BCS National Championship game. That was 2 years before they switched to this playoff format. They played Alabama, and Notre Dame was ranked number 1, and Alabama was number 2, and everyone's like, wow, this Notre Dame team's undefeated. They could easily beat Alabama, and Eddie Lacy just had a fucking field day with them, and they got nowhere.
42-7 that game?
It was
bad. It was really bad.
Yeah.
And then you go into this playoff format, and what happens? A couple years ago, they faced Clemson, and this is when Clemson was dominant in that 2018 season.
So they had the dogs in there.
Yeah, they had a defense that was really good and an offensive weaponry that was really good. And then they played badly in that game, and then they played badly. They didn't make it last year, and then they played badly in this game. And it's been against top 5 opponents that they've won 2 games over the past 10 years with Brian Kelly as their head coach. They are the epitome of the New York Jets in big-time games like this. They do not play well. They fold under pressure. I'm not saying that they're the New York Jets. I'm saying in big games.
You wonder why that is, though, CJ. You wonder why, it's not – none of these players were in school at any of the times of these, the Notre Dame team. It's a different team every year. It's like they get to that game and they just see the bright lights is what we say.
I know.
But it's like, how does this happen to every single – it's literally happened to every single Notre Dame team.
Yeah.
But is it like a big mindset thing that they can't get over the schneid? Is it like the whole Cubs – drought? Are they turning into the Cubbies when it comes to the big time games? Or
I don't know. I don't. And the thing about to me with Notre Dame is how do you not recruit to a school like that? I mean, they get some good. What's the
Cole Kmet and Chase Claypool are 2
fantastic. Owasu's a stud, buddy.
And Book is not a freaking bad quarterback.
I mean,
what does he have, 4 losses in his career at Notre Dame?
They're backfield, that Kyron Williams and that Chris Tyree from down here in Virginia. They recruit nationally and internationally. You go to a respectable school. I
know, but it just seems that they can recruit good or very well, but they will never recruit as well as Alabama can because. That beating that they put on them, I kind of already saw it coming because I'm like, this Alabama team is really that good, and they really are that good offensively because not only do they have 2 Heisman candidates on the offense at the same time,
3.
Yeah, 3.
Pretty
if
much.
you include Najee Harris in there, yeah, By the way, Pittsburgh needs a running back. Pittsburgh could use a running back there in the draft there, sir. We need to get on that there, Mr. Rooney. Need to get on that. No, Yeah, but Devontae Smith, I think, I know it will not happen.
You can't stop him. You just got to slow him down.
I know it won't happen. But he deserves the Heisman in my mind.
What do you mean he has the most reception touchdowns in years?
But it is a quarterback's game, and I have
What
seen
quarterback has a better production than Devonta Smith this year? Don't say Mac Jones.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that the other 3 candidates that he is up against is white boy quarterbacks, and Trevor Lawrence. This is his last bit of flu here in the college football world. I'm just saying, I agree that Devonta Smith deserves it.
Technically speaking, it doesn't have to be.
I know, but everyone makes it. It's just like in the NFL,
okay.
The MVP is always a fucking quarterback.
All right, so and I've heard this before. Everybody
There
says,
we go.
I'm gonna let Trevor Lawrence come out now. He's going to make $1 gazillion. He can finish his college degree whenever he wants after that. At least he's got his money. But I'm telling you, if I'm staring down a barrel of going to Jacksonville and I'm going to get ground up like freaking and get treated like a freaking baby does a diaper,
okay, but
I'd stay in school for 1 more year. Don't give me that bullshit. Well, you risk injury. Well, okay, so you cash in $10 million, but you get fucking ground up like freaking hamburger, and your career is over in 2 seasons in freaking Jacksonville. And then you're going to tell me, well, at least he got his money. Bullshit. Guys like that don't freaking think that way. They don't think that way. You can't tell me he isn't expecting to be able to make a difference and play and show his true talent in the NFL. But if you're telling me you're
but-
going to take the money and get ground up like freaking hamburger, look at Joe Burrow. He didn't even finish the freaking season.
Yeah, but
and they paid him $1 gazillion, and he's the number one player taken in the draft.
Was I not wrong? Was I not wrong that team is not the right team to go to?
Right.
Because of the team around him.
Right.
I'm telling you.
And you're telling me that Jacksonville is going to be better?
No. I mean,
yes,
they have cap space. Yes, they've got a couple number one picks. But,
but
they need help everywhere.
Yeah, but they don't need help.
Rookies.
When's the last time? Okay, other than the one season that they were good in when they
you seen the Robinson kid, man?
Beat the Steelers. But other than that,
you still need that running back.
Yeah.
I haven't had that running back since that season. No.
But honestly, when's the last good Jacksonville team? I mean, do we go back to the 90s with Fred Taylor,
Mark
Mark Brunell,
baby.
Fred Taylor? Like,
I don't know. Byron Leftwich had some.
Keenan Cardell?
2010. I remember 2010. They were that raspy, sneaky, good team that beat the Steelers in the playoffs, and then they went to New England. I remember they were a wild card team, but they were also that team where you were like, dude, this is actually a good Jacksonville team.
Yeah,
and they put it on the New England Patriots that year.
And they've had a couple of seasons where you're like, why didn't they get more done? Why didn't they take the next step forward? And
it was 2007. It was 2007, not 2010.
Was it coaching? Was it injuries? What was it? Why didn't they take that next step forward? Well, and since that time, in the last 10 years, they've done nothing but regress.
Oh,
now everybody's all jacked up that that's from Trevor Lawrence.
I would love
stats since 2017. The New York Jets, the Jacksonville Jaguars, and was it Cleveland
or Cincy? Probably
it was Cincinnati are the three worst teams in the NFL in terms of winning, and all three of them have at most 11 wins. In the last three seasons.
Look what they've all done. They've all drafted quarterbacks.
Cincinnati has a tie on that record as well.
But that's the issue.
They've all drafted.
That's
quarterbacks,
the issue right there.
Those guys have not panned out
because they expect them to play early, right away from day one.
We'll move on to the NFL in a sec. I want to continue.
Let's talk about this playoff system.
I do want to talk about
because I read about
Clemson.
One.
You could talk about Trevor Lawrence all you want, but
let's talk about the playoffs too. I want to talk about the playoff format and that we're dealing with this 4-team college football playoff rule.
I'll say this: I saw the end of that North Carolina Texas A&M game, and man, Texas A&M has got some stud running backs that's our true
15. And you're telling me that they didn't beat out Notre Dame?
That's where I'm.
Cincinnati was 9-0.
I know. That's where it comes back to the debate.
And then we saw that. And then we saw that bowl game against Georgia.
But they deserve. But here's the thing:
they should have beaten Georgia. It came down to freaking time management. It came down to execution, and that game came down to fucking discipline. I don't care what you say. A game was ultimately impacted by.
Oh, I know. That's what
by discipline.
I was going to say that until you rudely interrupted me.
Well,
but that's okay.
The kind of shit I deal with.
Okay, but I said this last year. In the year before that, that this college football playoff system, it's not a playoff. What are you supposed to do if you?
It's about the money, CJ. It's who's gonna bring.
It's not a playoff. It's a selection committee. When you got 12 jerk-offs sitting in a room going, "Hey, we're gonna take Notre Dame. They beat freaking Clemson, and Clemson's really good. We're gonna put them in there, and we're not gonna make people unhappy." That's what you get when you get 12 douches sitting in a room making decisions. They're like they're like politicians. They have the power to do so much, and yet when they freaking do it wrong, they don't ever change it. They blame somebody else. They blame whatever it is. Well, Notre Dame should have played better. Well, bullshit. Maybe you didn't make the right choice. And there's no going back on those guys. There's no going back on them.
Yeah, I think it does have to somewhat simulate, FCS or even the NCAA tournament where you win the conference or you win the conference title game.
Right.
You're automatically qualified for it. So is it an 8-team? Is it a 10-team? Is it all conference championships plus 2 at large or 3 at large?
1 at large. Because I think if you start adding 2 or 3 at large, then you're watering the field down, and then you end up with blowouts, and that's not going to look good. So what I was
You're
thinking,
right. So stop letting Notre Dame into the fucking playoffs.
right. So it's almost like you got to earn it to be there. So one of the things I saw is the New Year's Day 6 plus one at large. And so what this was, and I brought it up because I had read about it before. And essentially what this is a scenario of 12 teams playing for a chance, for an opportunity to get to a selection committee that chooses the teams that will play for the college football, because you will have earned it. And what their thing is, the Rose Bowl is the Big Ten champion versus the Pac-12 champion.
Makes sense.
The SEC championship versus the Big 12.
That'd be a blowout.
Well, it is what it is. It's just an alignment. It could have been adjusted anyway. The ACC championship versus Big Ten / SEC or independent. And then 3, the Fiesta, Peach, and Cotton Bowl are 6 at-large teams. And you earn your spot into the bowl. You earn your spot into this opportunity to freaking play for a national championship. But the one thing it doesn't do is it doesn't take into consideration, those are the 6 conferences. It doesn't take into consideration the other 4 conferences, that of FBS teams. So are they saying that these at large bids come from those other let's just say out of the Power 5, the sub 5 teams? That would make sense. Then it gives them an opportunity, and you prove your way into it, and you have a 6+1 freaking possibility. And I started reading this article. I was like, holy shit. The biggest thing about it is the Big Ten champion will never play the Pac-12 champion in the national championship. And the same would go for the SEC and the Big 12. For some reason, the structure of that, the way they have the playoff set up, those teams will never face each other. But in a larger respect, when you think about that, do you want to see the SEC beat the shit out of a team that freaking has high-flying offense but no defense? Because that's what Big 12 is. Right. They got great offenses, but their defenses, they're getting a little better.
I was
they're getting
say,
a little better, but they don't have great defense.
Oklahoma game. I don't know about you, but Oklahoma was able to actually stop Kyle Trask.
Well, he didn't have
Kyle
about
Trask
13 players on offense.
Yeah, he was playing. Freaking what's his the coach?
Pitts, Mullen.
Yeah, he comes out and says that we essentially played you with our freaking scout team.
I mean, truthfully, they did.
They sat out. 13 players sat out. And what they're talking about is that the 6+1 format will eliminate players sitting out because you have an opportunity. There's 6 bowl games to help you play for a national championship, and this will prevent you from sitting out because now you have a realistic opportunity to play for a national championship. So if you win a conference championship and you match up and you continue to win, well, if I'm a freaking guy who has a ticket to ticket to the NFL, you think I'm sitting out without an opportunity to win the national championship?
Okay, well, I want to talk about Ohio State Clemson though. Because,
yeah, I'm good. I just liked that article. It was really good. Now, it's not without its flaws, but it is better than 12 jerk-offs sitting in a room trying to pick 4 teams. Because that's what you're getting. They call it the college football playoff, but it's the college football national championship selection committee's choices to play in the final 2 games. And this year, Notre Dame didn't get there, and Clemson didn't play as well as they should. But I think you got the 2 best teams in college football playing for the national championship. And that's a great segue. Yeah. That's a great segue into what we're doing. I don't care what you say about Ohio State not playing more games, but they're pretty fucking good.
I wasn't going to say that. I was just going to say they're the 11th best ranked team in the country,
according to Dabo.
According
about my burp, but not really.
I'll say this first. Like Trevor, it sucks to go out like that. Honestly, you
say that, but that's what's going to happen to him when he goes to.
But I'm saying
that game.
He got his ass handed to him. Not his fault though.
Okay, and you're going to say that when he freaking ends up in Jacksonville, it will be the same thing. He's going to get his ass handed to him, but it won't be Trevor's fault because he doesn't have anybody around him. Only he had Clemson players around him.
It's not like I just talked about the same fucking thing before we started about Deshaun Watson, and everyone's like,
I'm not. You know how I feel about him. You know exactly how I feel about Deshaun Watson. But Deshaun Watson.
Well,
And when someone said that Trevor Lawrence is the best player to ever put on a Clemson football uniform, you could go fuck yourself, okay? Because Deshaun Watson got robbed of a Heisman Trophy.
Here's the thing, CJ.
So many times.
Think about it. When has Trevor Lawrence ever, in his high school and college career, ever had to come back to win a football game? Think about that.
The Ohio State game. Last year.
Other than that.
Well, you just said one.
Okay, but all right, but you get
shut your ass.
but you get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
He's never faced, any sort of doubt, any sort of, other than that one game, but hasn't had experience having to come back in big moments.
Yeah, I mean it's
Okay,
there.
well, neither did Joe Burrow, and he's still doing just fine.
Yeah, he's in a
Like,
hospital.
But he's walking on one leg, rehabbing the other.
I get that, but you're saying that you're putting him in the same area as what Joe Burrow.
I'm not even equivocating it to that. I'm just saying you're putting it with Joe Burrow now here. So all I'm saying is Joe Burrow had to come back when he was he's had more adversity in his entire when he transferred. He lost the job at Ohio State. That's why he transferred.
The league done messed up, by the way.
The league done messed up.
So
And you know who else said that? Was freaking Josh Rosen.
yeah,
The league messed up.
He's
horrible.
That's why he's on the practice squad.
Yeah, but he's in freaking NFL practice squad, and I'm sitting here in my basement talking about him not being very good.
Yeah,
That's all right.
But that's another story for defunct quarterbacks. But that's my thing. Trevor Lawrence hasn't really been tested.
Okay, but you can't fault him for playing against the teams that he plays against and goes out there and kicks their ass every single week.
I don't disagree.
Fault that.
And that's a product of what you get. Is that an overconfidence thing?
That
Look, they play in
Alabama-
the ACC.
That Alabama championship.
I mean, they're favored.
game
They're favored by like 30 points in some games.
I understand that, but that Alabama championship game that they played against Alabama, he's that good. And then you put him up against, it's like, all right, Trevor, beat this LSU team that is stacked, and I mean stacked at every single position. First round picks all around. And then
they were.
And then you have Mr. Smoking a cigar at the quarterback who doesn't give a fuck who you are, just throwing dimes. And then you have the rookie of the offensive rookie of the year on that same team as well right now, Justin Jefferson. Like, that LSU team, nobody's beating them. Like, I don't care what you do. Nobody is beating that team, even though I said Clemson could do it. But this last weekend against Ohio State, Ohio State kicked their ass. Now, they up and down the field, especially in the run game, and I don't care what you say. Like, Trevor Lawrence deserves a lot more credit than what he's gotten, and especially in that game. He's crying on the sideline, and Dabo's trying to hide his tears because he knows it's his last fucking game. It's his last game. And you're telling me it's like, oh, well, he's going to go make money. He doesn't care. He's a fucking competitor.
Yeah.
He just let his team down because he's mad. Everyone's saying like, oh, he going to get his money. He don't care. Shut up. He's a competitor. He's 20 fucking years old. Stop acting like he's a grown-ass man and knows everything. No, he just wants to play ball. It's just like Tom Brady. That man, and I'm still fucking right. It was always him. It was always him.
It's not always him.
My voice is going to shit, but you're telling me.
It's not always him. Because guess what? Guess what, CJ?
Bill's not in the playoffs and Tommy is.
I get that. But guess what? Tom doesn't play defense. And you can't tell me that in New England that when people are healthy and they don't have 10 starters sitting out in a season, that they don't play a little better than what they do.
You're right, because I would hope that they would account for more than 10 fucking passing touchdowns this year.
Okay, their offense struggled, but you name one top flight receiver that they have on that team. Name one.
I couldn't even tell you a receiver on their team.
Jacoby Myers.
Okay, Jacoby Myers.
N'Keal Harry.
Who?
Oh,
Who?
yeah, Jacoby Myers, who was
Julian Edelman.
He didn't play. He had freaking knee injury.
He played a
He's
couple
out.
games. You
Okay,
said
played
name a top
couple.
receiver. I said it.
But I mean, they did bring. Well, yeah, that's another discussion.
Okay.
We're still in college. But
Okay,
we'll wait.
a couple more points, and then we'll finally move on. Justin Fields he's a man. Honestly, the targeting penalty, I agree with the call that, look, it's targeting.
What? Don't even give me that. You don't agree.
I said I agree now because I've seen the Shazier hit, and I know when that shit can go bad.
He tried to kill himself.
CJ, I think you were right, though. If you go back and you look at it, and I've done that a couple of times, but when you look at the impact, you can tell that Skalski definitely has his head down.
Mm-hmm.
But Skalski can't account for what
Fields spinning.
Fields, the spin that Fields is going to make, and it ends up being what looks like an ugly tackle.
I just don't see it as egregious.
But the rule's the rule,
because,
CJ.
Yeah, and it is.
It's meant to protect the tackler too. That's
right.
the thing.
Yeah, I think so. And as terrible as that sounds, I still think he led with his head. And you got to be careful about it. In this day and age, you just have to be careful with that shit. And we've seen over and over and over. And that I think did you link the post with Shazier? I think with me and your mother, the one where it puts them side by side.
They're very close.
And the Shazier tackle. Yeah. I think the only difference being is that Shazier
he lunges with his helmet.
He's definitely lunging forward.
Yeah,
and Skalski is more compact, getting ready to deliver.
He's grounded. He's literally stationary.
Yeah. And I think with your extended back, that caused the issue with Shazier, whereas Skalski is freaking bull neck, and he's safe, and that's why he walked away from the tackle going, I hope they didn't see that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
but the thing is, the rule's the rule. You hate to see the kid ejected. I don't
think he should have been.
Well, I mean, that's the rule. I think there maybe should have been just the penalty, but no ejection.
Yes.
And I think that's where the rule is flawed.
Mm-hmm. That's why I say, there has to be an intentional, and then there has to be, look, you should
1A, 1B almost.
Yeah.
Was it intentional?
I don't see that as intentional. I just don't, because a couple inches, a little bit more to the right, he doesn't spin. That's a great form tackle.
Yeah,
it comes down to those moments, but I will say that people will be like, well, this is the same guys who did this in the national championship game, and I was like, that was helmet to helmet. That guy literally lunged with his helmet. No shit, that guy deserves to be ejected in that, but he doesn't deserve to be, taken off the field for, I don't want to say playing football, but trying to make a tackle while I know he's looking at the ground, but I just don't think he should be ejected for that type of hit. And in the end, it didn't even matter. It didn't even matter because Justin Fields literally just came back onto the field.
It doesn't. Yeah, I think he's battling through injuries. They said he's healthy. He'll probably have some of those space age Kevlar freaking form fitting Drew Brees freaking shirts on. Something out of a Batman suit on to protect his ribs. The fact is that dude is good. He is really good.
I knew he could throw the deep ball, but that cat could spin it on target.
It's like I hate comparing people. I hate doing it, but it's like a Russell. It's like a Russell Wilson, man. When you have him in your sights, you're like, yes, nope. You don't got him. You don't got him. And then he could just throw it from anywhere on the field, and you're like, Coach, he's like, yeah, I don't know what to tell you. You can't do anything about it. And then on top of that, their run game, Ohio State's run game, was just devastating. You couldn't stop Sermon. Was it Sermon? Yeah, yep. You couldn't stop Sermon at all that night.
That dude is special, too. And he just came out of nowhere, just finding his groove. Yeah, that guy's pretty fucking good. I like him a lot.
All right, college football is done. The national championship is supposedly this Monday. Supposedly supposed to come out on Monday. Who knows? There's been talks with COVID, and who knows what the hell's going to happen. All right, NFL. Since last we talked...
did we talk?
Since last time we did the show, it was around Thanksgiving time. And it was around the time when Pittsburgh was supposed to play on Thanksgiving night. And, well, it didn't happen. It got moved to a Wednesday afternoon, was it? Yeah, I think it was Wednesday afternoon
like
football at like 3 o'clock. And that game was awful. That game was just awful to watch. Can't believe I wanted the Steelers to just play that game because okay. Ever since then, the Steelers have completely cooled off. It has not been good from them offensively.
Cooled? He said cooled.
Cooled off.
Arnold Schwarzenegger was Mr. Freeze, and he is warmer than what the fucking Pittsburgh Steelers are
yes,
right now.
Unless you count the second half of the Indy game. Yes, that is the description of the Steelers. But the playoffs are here now. The wild card is set. We now have 7 teams in the playoff. The only teams that get the byes for the NFL are the Kansas City Chiefs and the Green Bay Packers. They're the only 2 teams who get the first round bye. Since we last talked, Kansas City, Atlanta had them. Atlanta was playing them. You'd think that game would just be a blowout, and Atlanta they just had to catch the ball. They literally just had to catch the interception, and you beat the Kansas City Chiefs. And then the Green Bay Packers, they're the best team in the NFC. They scare the ever-living hell out of me because Aaron Rodgers, I don't know what to tell you. He is scary as all can be, and he is on a mission right now. And especially with his offensive weaponry right now, I don't know who can stop them. Unless you get another round in the Dome, but that's not going to happen because the road to the Super Bowl goes through Lambeau. You don't get another chance now.
Yeah, and the thing about him is I fucking hate him and his commercials.
Discount double check.
So I just had to say that.
Anyway.
But I do like the Mahomes ones. Mahomes is pretty good when those, and I don't like that son of a bitch as good as he is. I hate him because he's so good.
Let's talk about the AFC. Number 2 is Buffalo. Okay, I know Kansas City's the number 1 seed. Buffalo scares the ever-living hell out of me as well because Buffalo is hitting their peak still right now. They're still not – they just dropped 56 points on Miami to say, hey, you ain't getting into the fucking playoffs and we don't care. Like, that's literally what they said. And on top of that, they took Josh Allen out at halftime, and they scored 20 more points on top of that to put it to 56 points. Like, that's how scary Buffalo is right now.
Yeah, they're good.
They beat Pittsburgh, albeit there were some plays in that first half that if they went the other way, I'm sure it would be a different game, but that's besides the point. Buffalo, if you take away the Kyler Murray Hail Mary, they're fucking 13-3. No, they're 14-2 without the Kyler Murray Hail Mary. The only other 2 losses that they have was to the Tennessee Titans and Kansas City Chiefs. That's the only 2 losses that they would have on their record without the Kyler Murray Hail Mary. And like I said, that's I don't know, man. That's really scary.
And you know what? We CJ and I we talk during the games and shit, and when we're sitting in the same room, we're just looking at things, and we talked about how Josh Allen looked in the playoffs before, where he looked like he had this deer in the headlights. He don't look like that anymore. He looks like he wants to freaking rip your head off. He looks like he is so confident and so smooth that he just wants to make plays. And he's doing it. And you see him, he just freaking walks with this confidence. And it's like, I can make this play. And he's like directing, hey, get open, do this, come back to me, go here, get this block, throw it.
It's year 3.
Yeah.
They say it takes 3 years.
Yeah, for most quarterbacks, if you're good, yeah. Bennett only took 2.
Wow.
So. Tom, it took 0. It took him 1 fucking year. Anyway, number 3 seed, Pittsburgh. Like, I don't want to say that they don't have a chance, but they have been looking rough. Injuries have piled up for them to where they have looked rough on defense in a lot of games. They were on
middle linebacker number 9, moving safeties to middle linebacker.
I understand that, but I'm telling you right now, Avery Williamson is a guy that I have watched around the league before. I like Avery there. I do. I think that him and Vince Williams, when they're together, that they could easily be a very good duo. Avery has only been here for 7 weeks.
You route rolling Devin here? Where are we putting Devin at?
I don't know. Yeah, who knows? I'm telling you, though, it's good to have another guy in there to sub in as well. Sure, Devin's hurt, and so is Spillane, but I'm telling you right now, Avery, he's the best guy that you got that can play every down. He just is. Vince isn't even out there every down. Avery's out there every single down. That's the thing. And then offensively, oh boy, Vix, I don't know what to tell you, man, but like, it is rough watching that offense out there.
It's rough watching the run game. Like I'm huge James Conner fan. Always will be till the day I die. But he is.
But Alabama, we could really use that running back. We could really use that.
Najee Harris, but he ain't ever dropping that low. He's never gonna get there.
No offense, James Conner is not the answer. No offense.
Harris, if he doesn't drop that low,
Clemson, we could use your running back. ATN.
Najee Harris, Travis Etienne are never going to fall before the first 15 picks. Period. They're just never going to drop that low.
Well, they have projections have Najee fallen to the Steelers late in the first round.
Yeah, I saw that. That's why I said that.
Somebody's going to grab him because he's so good out of the backfield.
He hurdled a 6'2" dude standing up vertically.
I know. I'm not.
He hurdled someone.
Why do you think I want him?
70+ inches.
Yeah. We're done talking about college football, though. Like the Steelers have looked bad offensively. Oh my God, that Cincinnati game! I just sat there. I didn't say a word. I sat there and I just kept going. But
here's the thing. You know what to expect. They're going to run slants. They're going to run outs. They're going to run quick. They're going to run short passing game, and that's why you can jump. You can jump routes because you know they're not going to throw the deep ball until they make someone guard them deep, or until they beat someone with the deep ball.
I couldn't. I honestly was happy watching that last Cleveland game because I was like, you know what they're doing? They see Claypool one-on-one, and Mason's like, I'm fucking yucking this thing up there. And Claypool was coming down with everything. He is a mismatch in terms of height and size on a lot of cornerbacks in the NFL.
He is good.
And you put him and just say, hey, go up and grab it. Shoot, that's exactly what they did in the second half against Indy, where they were like, look, David Johnson, you're going to beat him with the speed. You're just going to do it right here and now, and bam, that's what happened. And like, you look at those plays and you go, why don't they do this more often? Oh, wait, here comes another slant. Fuck, didn't work. Here comes an inside zone. Oh, shit, that didn't work. And yeah, the run game is really bad. It is really bad. When you have two above-average running backs in my mind, and Snell and Connor, I don't know how this ain't fucking working right now.
How is Benny Snell not blossomed more?
He was so good his senior year at Kentucky. And I don't know what happened. If it's like the offense is too complicated, because, I don't know how complicated Kentucky's offense can be.
I don't know.
I thought he shows glimpses of a burst of speed.
Yeah.
A little jump cut here or there.
So does Connor. He shows those glimpses.
But it's like it's not consistent.
Yeah.
I love James Conner. I'll be a pick guy till I die, but they're just not getting it done, and they need to answer. This needs to be a wake-up call. They need to draft a first-round running back to say, hey, either, we're moving on or get it done.
Yeah, I know. Exactly. Number 4 seed, Tennessee Titans.
Derek fucking
Look.
Henry is a
2K.
man. Derek
2K.
So I was talking to CJ's brother, and he had 1,777. He needed 223 to get to 2K. And I was looking at Patrick, and I go, Patrick, what are the chances Derrick Henry can freaking rush for over 200 today? And he goes, well, he's playing against the worst rushing defense there is. And I'm like, okay.
You're still a pro. You're still getting paid to stop him.
In the first half, he had 143 yards or something like that in the first half. 143 yards. And I'm like, well, that was on like 18 carries or something like that.
He had 34 carries by the end of the game.
By the end of the game. And he ends up going for 250. 250. He had 34 carries, right? 34 carries, 250 yards rushing.
What's that average?
It was a lot.
And he's carried the ball over 300 times this season.
And here's the thing.
7.4.
It's not Yulee, Florida, like he was when he was in high school, where he averaged like 9.4 yards per carry. But the thing about him is he knows when to go down. He doesn't drive for extra yards that don't need to be done. But you put him into space, and there is something about overdriving that cat. He is, you know what he reminds me.
He's not even sprinting.
You know what he reminds me of? He reminds me of a powerful freaking Eric Dickerson.
Yeah.
Now Eric Dickerson he was probably outside of Walter Payton the most blessed athletically. His stride, everything about him was just poetry in motion. Outside of Walter Payton, who is just, I don't know. It's hard to freaking put an adjective on what he was capable of. But Derrick Henry is a bigger, stronger, faster version of Eric Dickerson, and he's just getting started. If anybody,
He's still on his rookie contract,
if
man.
if he stays healthy and he stays grounded, and by the looks of it, and by the interviews that you've heard and read about him, he is completely and totally grounded. If he continues on this torrid pace, you can forget about the rushing record. Forget about it, because it's going to be history. He'll be looking down on Emmitt Smith and the greatest running back in the history of the game, Walter Payton. He'll be looking down on all of them.
Even Frank Gore. He's third now in the NFL in
Frank
rushing,
Gore is
man.
third. Frank Gore is like 700
2
yards.
ACLs
Yeah,
his senior year at Miami.
He's and an ACL when he started, I think with the 49ers, he had another one. The thing about Frank Gore is he's 700 yards. He's like
And
between
700 years old as
He's
well.
like 600 to 700 yards behind Walter Payton, and this year he rushed for almost 800 yards. He could pass Walter Payton next year with another year like this.
Wow.
But is he going to return? And will they give him? Will he be? Will he be a factor in the Jets when the Jets finally fucking pick up the smoldering ashes of what freaking Adam Gase did to him?
That might be the worst hire as a head coach.
And now
Yeah.
Tennessee has to play Baltimore again. Derrick Henry gets to meet his sons once again in the playoffs again. Because we remember that playoff game last year. And when I say that everyone was expecting Baltimore to win and I saw Derrick Henry did what he did last year, oh boy, I don't know. The problem, though, that we'll talk about problems whenever we get to picks. Number 5 seed, Baltimore. Baltimore gets in. Baltimore doesn't really... I don't want to say that they don't have what it takes to get to the Super Bowl, but they don't scare me. Because the only thing that is scary about them is their run game. That is really their cream of the crop is their run offense. Because they have a 3-headed monster. Actually, a 4-headed monster, because you got Jackson, Edwards, Dobbins, and Ingram all able to carry the ball and be very good at it. Yeah, Baltimore doesn't really scare me as much. And then, who's the 6th seed? Who the fuck's the 6th seed?
What are we talking about?
Browns? Because they play the Steelers, right?
No, they are the 6th seed. Okay, yeah, that's right. Indy's the 7th. Yep. Browns is the 6th seed. Hey, I don't want to say I feel bad for him with everything that happened today, but I kind of feel bad for the Browns and the fact that Stefanski tests positive for COVID. Joel Bitonio tests positive as well. Like, Bitonio's been there for a long time, and he's even endured the 1-15 year. This
And the
0-16. Yeah, the OFR. And
your first shot of the playoff game, man.
And you're in high contact
the
tracing.
Rona.
Yeah, it is what it is. I mean, how are you supposed to escape that shit? It's just not possible.
I did have a little glimpse of happiness when I saw that the Steelers could have possibly beaten the Browns with Mason Rudolph at the helm. I don't want to say
You realize they were missing like all the studs on defense, and
yeah.
they still should have won that game.
That's why I'm like,
The Steelers don't even have studs on defense anymore. What have they replaced, like 4 linebackers this year?
Number 90 defensive player of the year. You know
if
that,
he
you know,
doesn't
you know
win
that guy.
Defensive Player of the Year, I'm going to.
His initials are very similar to another defensive player of the year candidate.
We didn't even have Cam Hayward playing. We didn't have Joe Hayden. We didn't have Edmonds. We didn't have anybody. We literally had nobody on defense that was, capable. We didn't have Pouncey. We didn't have Ben. We didn't have Ebron. We didn't.
Ebron, he ain't worth his contract.
I'm sorry. I really am.
Draft a tight end instead of the running back.
Maybe you have to draft. We need another Heath Miller.
Because Vance McDonald ain't getting it done either. But no, I would say that Mason played good in that game, but it was I'll say and that's coming from a guy with a microphone. All right, the 7th seed, Indy.
Winning, you're in.
And winning, you're in, and hope to God that Miami gets 50 points scored on them, and you're in. That's literally all they had to do. I was also like, oh no, Indy has to play Jacksonville, and Jacksonville's one win on the season is against Indy. And Jacksonville was in 6 points, and I'm like, no, this can't happen. This can't fucking happen. This is not going to – no, it didn't. But Indy gets in. They're the 7th seed, and they're going to play against Buffalo. I don't know about you, but that's a good game. But I still think Buffalo will hammer them. But I'm telling you, Indy's no slouch. They are the best 7th seed I have seen come out ever. Because they're 11-5. Their defense is stingy as all hell. And Jonathan Taylor is the real fucking deal. Like they are I want to say very good on both sides of the ball, I would say. Not like some teams, but I would say that they are very strong on both sides of the ball and can win because of one or the other, I feel. All right, let's go to the NFC side. As I said, Green Bay, they get the number 1 spot. They get the bye after the shellacking that they gave the Bears.
Sorry.
Aaron Rodgers has just unzipped his pants and dropped his junk right on the freaking
He's
Bears
pissed.
head.
He's pissed. Jordan Love.
Number 2 seed, New Orleans Saints. They get the number 2 spot, so they at least get a dome game in.
DB's last ride.
What's that?
Drew Brees' last ride.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. I honestly wouldn't.
That came out as an announcement.
Yeah, I don't know if it's true or not, but
Yeah, I don't know.
You can
Who
never.
knows?
Who the hell knows? Number 3 spot. Well, no, let's go number 2 first. Saints. I don't know.
Kamara's a dude. Kamara's a dude. If they're in the dome,
God, how good is he? He's
Just
one of
think-
my favorite players in the NFL.
just think he played 1 year of major college football.
At Tennessee.
Yeah.
And that was it. That's
Yeah.
literally it.
Yeah.
And now he is
A stud.
easily top 4 running back in the NFL right now. And that goes for rushing and receiving. Like he is I don't want to say he's the next one, but he is like a Le'Veon Bell back when Le'Veon Bell was good. Because out of the backfield, you can't touch him, receiving wise. Saints, though, the problem for me is that I see Drew Brees as the one weakness, though. Because their offense can get stale at times, and you can't always rely on Kamara to bail you out. And that's what I actually see as their one weakness, is actually Brees. I know that's kind of hard to say, but it's really weird to me that he is their one weakness. And they're going to play against the Bears. They got the Bears in the dome. I don't know. We'll talk about picks later, but
Mitchie.
number 3 seed
He's not playing horrible.
He's not. He's really not.
Until the end of the first half, and he freaking threw it right to him like a douche.
Number 3 seed is Seattle. Number 3 seed is Seattle. I keep hearing that every single year where Seattle gets a high seed, but whenever they go into the playoffs or whenever they're towards the end of the year, dude, they just go non-existent to me. Like they barely beat a team with 18 players on injured reserve, and they had to win that game. Like it wasn't a game where they sat people. They had to beat a San Francisco team that doesn't even have a home stadium and has to play in Arizona and has 18 players on injured reserve. George Kittle literally said, fuck it, I'm going in. And said for the last 2 weeks, and he's come in. And they barely beat that 49ers team. Seattle to me, and they're going to play against the Rams. They're literally going to play the Rams for a third time this season. And that Rams team, the only thing about that Rams team is which Jared Goff are you going to get? which Jared Goff are you going to get to where Seattle can actually win? Because Seattle, they haven't proven me anything in the past couple years. They've proven that they can be the best team in the West, but that's it. Other than that, nope. They don't have what it takes. And especially if their defense goes back to what they were at the beginning of the year. Because playoffs, you don't know what you're going to get. Every single thing that you saw in the regular season is off. It is off the table. Because, dude, these records don't matter. It's one and done. So you're literally going to give your best every single play. There's no tanking. There's no, thinking about what you can work on next week. No, it's literally here and now.
Yeah,
and that's it. That's all it is. Number 4 seed, the Washington football team. How about that game, huh?
We gonna get down this rabbit hole.
I mean, we won't talk much about Washington, but what do you think about that game?
Comeback Player of the Year. They ought to rename the award the Alex Smith Comeback Player of the Year award.
Fuck you.
Okay,
he hasn't played that well this year.
He played. Okay,
I'm not going to change my mind from Ben.
Okay, I'll give you that Ben tore his freaking ligament or the tendon in his arm and he required Tommy John, and I'm not going to diminish the fact that he's come back and he's been pretty damn good this season. But you are not at the point of losing your leg, possibly death,
Your life.
and 17 surgeries to come back to play and lead your team to the playoffs.
Winning the division at that.
When the league done messed up. So I think it,
I'm going to go out to a strip club, okay?
and I ain't wearing a mask.
Yep.
So, yeah, just for Alex Smith's sake, that's what I want to see.
Yeah, but even then, they are going to play the team that you do not want to play right now in Tampa Bay. You do not want to play Tampa Bay.
Yeah, who's without Mike Evans?
Nope. No, they're not.
Yeah, they're not going to have it.
Yes, they are.
You think Mike Evans is going to play this week?
Yeah.
There's no way.
It's literally on social media that
he should not play. You don't need him to beat
a team in
the
no
Washington
name.
football team. You don't. But here's the thing.
You don't need him to beat a football team called the football team.
Right. Here's my thing, though. The one thing that has caused Tom Brady the most difficulty.
By the way, they're the 5th seed, so we're moving on here to the 5th seed. So go ahead.
The one thing that causes Tom Brady the most difficulty is pressure up front. And they got four young dudes.
They got a lot of dudes
who are going to pin their ears back to try and make a name, and I'm going to come after Tom Brady.
You saw Chase Young saying, "Hi, Tom.
Yeah,
I'm coming for you.
I'm coming for you." And do you see what Bruce Arians wrote back to him?
Nah, I miss it.
Don't wish for something you want to get or you really don't want, because
Tom doesn't give a fuck about you.
I still think in the back of his mind he's got 4 young cats up there, and any one of them can get to him. The only difference being is in the last 3 weweeks, Tampa Bay's offensive line, they've been exceptional. Exceptional.
Tampa Bay's offense has been
off the charts. Tom Brady throws for 399.
He had a perfect quarterback rating against the Lions
and 4 touchdowns.
It's the Lions.
I know, but they had to win that game to go to the playoffs.
It's the Lions.
Yeah, but perfect quarterback rating is not easy, Viggs. He literally incompleted 10 passes and threw 5 touchdowns.
It's the Lions.
Shut up! But no, I don't care. Tampa is not the team that you want to play because if you give it over, it's like, okay, your defense can stop them. Then you're just giving it over to another defense in Tampa that is red hot as well. Because with Alex Smith, they don't let him pass the ball as often. And Tampa Bay has the number 1 run defense in the NFL.
Well, you got to admit, though, that the formerly football team known as the Skins, their defense is pretty damn good right now.
Okay.
I mean, here's the thing. If you can get in Tom Brady's face, it's going to be a long night for Tampa Bay.
That's
and
fine.
They've got 4 guys that can do that, consistently down after down
Yes,
after down.
they can.
So I can. The question is going to be: can the football team score points? Can they put points on the board? If they can put points on the board, I think the game's going to be closer than people think.
I'm on the different end, though, because I look at it and I go, Tampa, I think Tom knows that, though. I think that Tom knows that, like, look, we're going to have to come up with a different game plan this week against a team like this. I got 2 stud running backs. I got Fournette and Jones with me.
Right.
And I even got McCoy. Let's hand the ball off, but also we're going to have to bring a running back in almost every play for protection. We just are. But I have 4 of the best, like, receiving core out there, and I'm including Gronk in that 4. I'm telling, like, I know they can get pressure, but Brady has shown in the past that he could get the ball out fast, and there are game plans out there that allow him to get the ball out fast.
Right.
And he's played against some good defenses this year to where he could get the ball out and he could make him pay.
Yeah, the biggest stumbling block he's had is been New Orleans, and New Orleans has made his life miserable. So, New Orleans had better play their ass off to get another shot at him, because right now, I would probably give the edge offensively to Tampa Bay at this point in terms of what they're doing. Okay, yeah, Alvin Kamara rushes for 6 touchdowns, but at the same time, you know, that's not enough. You're not going to rush for 6 touchdowns in the playoffs. You're not going to do that.
And that's why I'm saying, I know you're saying, like, you know, Washington, their defense is really good, but I'm telling playoffs, all bets are off. I don't give a damn how good your defense was against this team and this team in the regular season, because it doesn't matter. It just doesn't. In the playoffs, everything is off the table.
Yeah, I don't disagree. I think that's
right.
Washington has a monumental task in taking down the Buccaneers.
Oh yeah,
and it's gonna have to start with their front 4. I don't think Washington's offense is enough to dent Tampa Bay.
They got to score on defense.
They're gonna have to.
They have to score on defense and special teams.
Like
they have to,
and it's not like they can't. So, it's you know. The difference in this game is how well does Tom Brady and their offense really take advantage of a very young Washington secondary and defense. Period. I mean, just can happen.
Because if he does get protection and he does get that ball,
of course.
And he's playing at a time right now where he's like been here, done that. What I forget how many playoffs. I think he's playing in his 48th or 49th playoff game. It's crazy. I'm going to look that up while we're doing that.
6 seed Los Angeles Rams. I said it depends on which Jared Goff you get, because the Rams defense is actually very good. It is very good this year. Jalen Ramsey, out of all the games he's played this year, has averaged 20 yards against him per game. That's it. 20 yards, so they have a very good defense.
Yeah, he's shut up a lot since he went there. He must have hated his time in Jacksonville, because I haven't heard him chirping his mouth.
Oh, yeah, big time.
Tom Brady's played in 41 playoff games. 41. Which is the equivalent of, what, 2.5 seasons?
Yeah, 60,
almost
32 plus 9. Yep.
Yeah, 2.5 seasons of just playoff football with 6 rings. You're not going to rattle him. You're not going to scare him. You're not going to intimidate him.
He's seen everything and everything.
Yeah.
He's came back from anything and everything.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And outside of a guy like Aaron Rodgers or Drew Brees, if they're behind, I still say you put it in Tommy's hands, because Tommy can lead you back. So I don't see them struggling.
And then finally,
Washington.
at the 7th seed, getting in by the skin of their teeth because the Arizona Cardinals lost.
That's right, baby.
The Chicago Bears get in.
Monsters of the Midway.
7th seed. You start out 5-1, lose 6 straight. You win your last 3. Bam, there you go. You're in the playoffs.
They didn't win their last 3.
They won 3 in a row.
They won 3 in a row. They won 3 of their last 4.
Yeah, because they went 5-7, and then they won 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nagy's keeping his job.
Okay, but
which is
You're gonna
He's
go,
keeping his
okay,
job.
Okay.
But okay, we'll talk about it right now. We'll go with the picks.
You want to
think-
write them? You want to?
Yeah,
You want to? Let's
we'll go
get
with
them
the
down.
picks.
All right. So let's start with. I have it up right now.
We don't need to
I
talk
have it
about
up.
the
Let's
Bears
take a
as
look.
much. Just
Let's go
Nah, they're a revolving door of
Colts
Cincinnati
versus-
and Cleveland.
Colts versus
and-
Bills.
He didn't
Let's
hear
go.
me out, did he?
What's that? Say it again. Al.
Bears
I-
are a
Revolving door like the Bengals and the Browns.
At quarterback, yeah.
Yes.
And they've not been stable going all the way back to
To the-
Jim McMahon.
80.
Yeah.
We talk about like that's the same thing with the Browns, the Bungles. I mean, hell, even the Skins, or well, I keep saying the Skins, the Washington football team.
Right. All right, so here we go. Colts at Bills. Here we go. CJ, you're up first.
This is like I want to pick the Bills but it is a tough one. It really is. Because it's off the table. Everything is off the table. And you are
Right, it's a
facing
0-0 season
You
right
are-
now.
True.
you are facing an Indy
True.
team that is very, very capable of going into Buffalo and saying, I don't give a fuck if you scored 50.
Right.
I don't care.
I mean, look what they did to freaking Tennessee.
On that Thursday night game.
Yeah, they just destroyed.
They also beat Aaron Rodgers. They
beat-
held Aaron Rodgers. That a lot of teams can't even
They
say that.
destroyed him. So they're there. Pick it. Come on.
I still have to go Bills though.
All right, CJ Bills.
Let's go 31-21.
31-21. I'm going to take the Bills just because I like Josh Allen. And I'm going to say 28-17. I think that this is
Heisman Trophy ceremony.
That's 7. Yeah.
I think it's a defining moment for Josh Allen. And it's not too big for him. So I'm going with the Bills, and I think they make a statement. They need to.
I think the Bills found their mojo. I think it's going to be
That-
a high scoring game.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's going to be like 42, like 35, something like that.
42-35.
That's what I.
Just because I feel like the Colts are going to try to they're going to have to score points.
That's the reason why I still went with the Bills is because they are literally playing their best football still, and they don't get a week off, so they get to keep going. They don't get to
I
stop.
don't disagree.
A bye week can either be a good thing or a bad thing, and I think for a Bills team right now, it's a good thing that they don't get a bye week.
Second game, Rams at Seahawks.
Oh boy. It depends. I don't know if Jared Goff's going to play.
I don't know.
If Jared Goff plays, I'm going with the Rams then. I'm going 24-14 Rams.
CJ going Rams. 24-17?
14.
All right. I think the Seahawks. I'm going Seahawks. And then the only reason why is Jared Goff, even if he plays, he's coming off surgery on a thumb. And it's going to take one ding on him, and he's done. And ding fries will be done. And I'm going to take the Seahawks in the exact same score, 24-14. Vigna.
I'm going with the Hawks just because I think it's hard to win in Seattle. Well, even though there's not the 12th man, I just think it's hard to win in Seattle to go up there. So let's see. Let's go Hawks. We'll go 27-21.
27-21. All right, next game up. Bucks at the Skins at the WTF or WFT. The Washington team of football. WTF.
I think it's going to be 35-14 Tampa. I really don't think that even though if
You said
Washington
what?
35-14 Tampa,
35.
I think that
14.
if they can hold them a couple of those first couple drives, it's like, oh, well, see, Tampa's not that good. But then if Washington's offense cannot score, then it's
Yeah,
I'm
I'm calling for me. I'm calling a shutout. I'm taking a freaking Buccaneers 28-0.
Okay.
I think they're going to shut down because they have so much to prove.
Mm-hmm.
And they are freaking right now. They're pretty dominating. So we'll see. We'll see. I may be talking out my ass, but that's where I'm going.
I'm gonna take the Bucks 31-3. They get close enough to kick that field goal, but not enough.
It is what it is.
Not enough to put puncher in the end zone.
All right, here we go. CJ, Bears versus Saints.
Is that the 1:00 game on Sunday?
Sunday.
Yeah,
Sunday,
yeah.
no, it's a 4:40 game on Sunday.
I hate to say this, but like
Say it. I know what you're thinking.
Saints win like 28-3.
Saints 28-3. I'm going to pick the Saints as well. My beloved Bears will not be able to handle Drew Brees and Alvin Kamara. They're just too dynamic. I think you're in the same ballpark, but I'm going to go 35-10, very similar to the same score that Rodgers put on them this past week, even though I fucking can't stand Aaron Rodgers.
Or you make it a clean sweep.
Okay? Saints,
Saints will go 31-17.
you think the Bears will score 17 points against the freaking Saints?
They're going to get enough opportunities to handle the rock.
You're high.
2 touchdowns on a field goal.
Fucking high.
You're fucking high.
2 touchdowns on a field goal.
All right, 2 more games. Let's go Ravens at the division-winning
The Dirty Birds at the tie.
Titans. CJ.
Yeah, I'm going 35-21 Titans.
CJ.
It is. I think that like Mike
35,
Vrabel.
21. You said 21, right?
Yeah, Titans.
Okay. Yeah.
I think that Mike Vrabel's literally going to look at that film and go, they're not any different from where they were last year. Not even close.
I don't see the Titans scoring 35.
No.
I just don't. I think
I think they can. Their offense has a lot of weapons.
They do, but I just don't. I think that the Ravens' defense is still pretty solid. I mean, and we're talking about the playoffs. You know, it's you have a lot to play for, so it could come down to something big. I'm going to go 24-17 Titans. I think Derrick Henry still has a big game. He's going to rush in 17 games. He's going to rush for 2,200 yards.
Sorry.
I mean,
No,
he's
I was
at
just calling. That's all.
he's at 2,042 now. I think
Yeah,
he's good
the
for another 100 yards.
The postseason doesn't count.
I know,
though.
but I'm just saying to be able to have one more game and rush for, that many yards, that's impressive.
I mean, he did it last year in the
All right,
playoffs.
All right, so I think it's going to be the Derrick Henry show again, but I think it's going to be. I think the Ravens are going to keep it close. I think they're going to shut them down a little bit, and I think it's going to be like a 24-21 deal where they're going to have to come down to maybe a last-second field goal to win it.
Could be.
Yeah, it could be the other way around. They could be driving, and it
Definitely.
could be. I think it's going to be
I'm going to
close.
drop the last game at the top here. I'll just pull this one out. So the last game is Shit Stains versus Stillers.
All right, you know what?
CJ. Coach. Bigna. All right, CJ, let me have it. I'm putting Steelers down. Okay. Give me a pick. Vigna's going Steelers too. He's never going against this.
Nah, I mean, Browns haven't been there. They don't know how to win. So,
Yeah.
obviously,
And-
that's why I'm
and
going Steelers.
Like I said, we played literally almost all of our backups and almost lost by 2 points. In a game that they were trying their hardest to win,
Yeah.
they almost couldn't even do it.
I got you.
And I'm saying,
I
Give me a
think
score.
I think it's going to be close.
I say it's 31-14 Steelers.
31-14.
I think the Browns are going to play inspired.
I think so too.
Yeah.
And I think the combination of Chubb and what's his name? The other
Hunt?
Yeah, Kareem Hunt. I think that those two guys are a dynamic duo. I don't know why they can't figure out how to put both those guys on the field
At the same time.
at the same time in some fashion or another. And I'm going to go against the grain just simply because if you did it once, can't you do it again? I don't care how many players you got. The Steelers are banged up defensively. They've replaced, 5, 6 different players are playing in that secondary.
And the linebacking core.
Yeah, the linebacker between their secondary and their linebackers, they lost 4 linebackers this year alone. And then Hayden went out with the concussion. They've had some nasty injuries. But I still think that this is a closer game than most people give it credit for. I'm going to pick them in a squeaker 21-17 over the Steelers. So, Viggs, you finish this out. You round us out there.
So, I'm going to go, again, in a little squeaker with the new kicker. If Boswell can't play,
I think they sat him out to fully get him rested.
Could be.
Well, very well could be.
Could
be, but I think they're gonna. Again, it's gonna come down to a close one. I'm gonna go 24-23.
24-23.
I feel like the Browns are gonna. They got nothing to lose.
They got absolutely nothing to lose.
I think it's gonna be another close game.
What do you got? CJ, what do you got?
What?
What do you else do you have?
No, that was going to be it.
Any more comments on that?
No, we're going to go ahead and move on to beers and then get out of here.
Yeah, man.
Finish off the beers and then we'll leave you at that. No hops this week. Not a lot of pop culture stuff. I stayed off of social media, which has been great. So Coach is going to get those ready.
You gonna hit the music?
What? Yeah. Give me one sec.
I'm
telling my brother to skin the chicken here in a couple of minutes.
You gonna get Patrick to do that?
Yeah, he can skin it. He literally
skin that chicken, boy.
He literally used to work at a chicken restaurant, so he knows how to handle.
He doesn't work here anymore?
No, he doesn't work. You kidding me? That's part of the reason why my back and shoulder hurts, because of fucking carrying the load here.
Look at that label.
Look at that, CJ. Get that beer music.
I am.
On,
chill out.
Here she is.
It's called Beer Jazz.
Beer.
Yeah, give me a sec. I gotta.
Here, you gotta put this up there, right?
Where did you?
No, it'll.
He searched for hours for the perfect.
CJ, you got the mute on.
I know.
Oh my word.
Does that sound a little weird to you?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like fizzy.
Oh no, it sounds fine now. I don't know what.
I don't know what that is.
Is that playing it? I don't think that's playing out of the speaker.
It sounds kind of tinny, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's not playing out of the speaker. Oh well, it's not playing out of the speaker here, so I don't know what. Is it even plugged in? Hey, sorry about that. We had a little technical problem there. I don't know what happened. I'm glad you didn't hear Vigna's voice, raging through the mic over here. But we're back.
It did. It was kind of loud.
I'll get the beer music back.
Let's get our beer music back up there. Pop the top on that, CJ. Dude, is there from the top on that? Let's listen to that.
That's all I can do.
Dr. Sax Love.
Okay.
That's
all we can do.
All right, Sweet Josie Brown Ale. Ales for Outlaws. And like I said once before, if you haven't seen the Outlaw Josie Whale, you don't know shit. This is 6.1% alcohol by volume. It's made by Lone Rider Brewing Company in Raleigh, North Carolina. This is an all brown ale show. So, look at that.
Wait, do you have a glass for me?
Yeah, you got one right in front of you.
Oh, it looked like it was used. Okay.
Oh, you want a fresh
it's fine.
one? I'll grab you a fresh one. It's probably got a little leftover bourbon in it.
No, I don't smell it. It's fine.
Well, you probably don't smell anything because you got COVID. You're a fucking super spreader. Let's try this. Oh, it smells wonderful.
Smells good.
Oh, Sweet Josie. It's a great looking label. Hot looking chick. You can taste it. It's got
It's good.
It does have a malty taste to it.
Yeah.
Dark. Fairly dark. It has a little bit of bitter at the end. But that's not bad. We got this.
That's
Your
smooth.
mother. Yeah,
that's
it's
smooth.
not bad. Yeah, it's got a great start. It's kind of crisp.
And there's not a lot of hops in it either, which is Something
It's
that I've
malty.
found a lot of brown ales to have lately.
And they can be have a little bitter in them.
It is bittery at the end, but I think it's very smooth.
So what? Your mother and I went down to.
Okay, I do taste a little chocolate too. All right, yeah.
So we went down to Wegmans, and if you've never been in Wegmans, down at Lake Manassas.
Not Leesburg or
No, it's Prince William County area, off of 15 and 29. This is pretty good, and they have a really nice selection down there. We did not go to our normal place to get our beers this week. But that Sweet Josie's not bad.
I do like the Lone Rider emblem that they have. That little kind of outlaw
That's
guy.
Outlaw Josie Wales.
Next one.
Here we go. So on the ladies' theme again, this is Avery Brewing Company in Boulder, Colorado. This is Ellie's Brown Ale. It's an American brown ale at 5.5% alcohol by volume, and it looks like it's got a chocolate lab on the front. So brewed in the Rocky Mountains. So it is. It's probably going to be a little hoppy, just a little bit, but it is a brown ale.
Maybe that's Ellie
That's what I said.
on the front,
Oh, maybe it is the dog. Shit, I don't know.
not some mistress. That's darker than the other one.
Yeah, it is a little darker. I'm holding it up to the light. It is very dark. Not the same smell though. It's very light. It's a very light smell. CJ, there you go.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Is it nutty smell? Do you get a nutty smell?
Just a little bit.
Tis a bit nutty.
Not bad. Not bad. And it's just me. But it has same crispness, same great flavor in the front, and it finishes just
Yeah, that
slightly,
finishes better than the
just
first
slightly better, just a little bit.
You said it's hot. You said it might be hoppier. I don't
Yeah, it
taste.
does.
I don't
It says-
taste the hops.
It
though.
does. It says it right on the side, man.
I taste the hops. I do.
But that's taste buds, and everybody's taste buds are different. But this is, we always talk about that when we do the beer segment. We always talk about, can you sit down and can you drink more than just one of those beers?
I could.
Hell
I actually
yeah, you
could. I
And
actually
both
could.
of them. Both of them.
I would choose this more over the St. Josie just because of the finish that it has, though. I will say, though, in between, the Sweet Josie is better, but the finish for me is...
It's got to be that Rocky Mountain water that makes it a little bit better.
Finishes it
Everything's
better.
brewed in the
This
Rockies a
one
little
has-
better.
This one has a little better punch, a little better crisp taste.
The finish is better though, for sure on this.
I think so. Not bad beers. God damn it, they're both really good.
Yeah.
But we always talk about finish, and for us, that's one of our signature things. Is we like a good crisp
purple
finish.
can here.
Yeah, it's a freaking goofy one. It's from Highwire.
There's another
Brewing.
woman on it.
Yeah, it's called the Bed of Nails Brown Ale, malty and smooth. Oh yeah, I see that. You got a nice little rack on the back. This is another 6.1%. It's it has more malt and less hops. So hopefully that will be good. It's not a full dark beer, but it is a darker one. This is Bed of Nails Brown Ale from Highwire freaking Brewing. And where's Highwire Brewing from?
No idea.
The can,
Whoa,
Jesus,
jeez.
the can, it's really hard to read. See if you can read that.
I know, you already opened it, though, and you're trying
No,
to tip it.
Yeah, I was trying to get it in the light to see if I could read the label a little better.
So it's brewed and canned by the Three Ring Brewing Company in Asheville, North Carolina.
Oh, all right. So we got another
So we
North
got another-
Carolina. One's in Raleigh, the other one's in Asheville.
Yeah. So that is definitely one of the more interesting
Yeah, it's
cans.
got a
All
kind of
three
a-
cans, I will say, have very cool labels and drawings. You got the interesting woman figure on the Lone Rider, the dog,
Ellie.
and then the
And
woman,
then
the
and
woman,
then
the
and
woman
just
laying in the
freaking-
bed.
The waist and rack on another one. It's called a Bed of Nails, so that's what she's doing. Just slightly, not as dark as the last one, but still, it's not a light one. What do we got smell-wise?
Oh,
What are you getting? What do you
smell
get?
wise, it has a lot more coffee smell, I
Okay.
will say.
Another fun
It's
beer.
fruity. You get fruity?
Almost a little bit.
Are you guys getting fruity?
No, I'm not getting fruit at all.
And I'm not getting a
Getting
bite
very
or
musty.
anything. Pretty good beer.
There's no real after. You guys getting? I'm not really getting
It's
that.
not really much taste to it at all.
Well, maybe that's your freaking upper
No, I'm not
respiratory
tasting
infection.
much more.
See, I'm getting some sort of like fruity flavor in the start.
Is there
'Cause in
anything
the
on the
other
label
ones-
that says?
So
Because in the
there
other
is.
ones, I was tasting it just fine. And that
Yeah.
one, I'm just not getting
So
it.
it's an American ode to a traditional English brown. A light hop addition balances the natural sweetness present in the specialty
so
malt.
maybe that's what it is.
Maybe
It's
that's
a
what I'm
sweeter
getting.
malt.
Maybe that's what I'm getting the fruitiness
A fruity
from.
with a sweeter
Finishing
malt.
good.
So the delicate
Yes.
body and dry finish allow flavors of toffee and dark fruit. There it
There you
is.
go.
To shine through.
All right,
So-
I like that.
So Highwire Brewing
I like that.
by three Ring Brewing Company in Asheville.
Let me let's get a freaking picture of them. I like Josie. Josie's got a nice rack there. That bitch is good. All right, so let's see what we got here. I got a text. What the hell did I get a text from?
I don't know. That's usually what happens with phones.
All right, so let's get these up here. So what are we putting? We're doing Ellie's Brown Ale number 1.
I would say the middle one is my favorite, at least.
They're all three good beers. I will say this.
Definitely.
You know, if I had to pick a winner today, I would say the middle one right now, just because of the finish.
Yeah, I don't.
But
think
there's
you're-
no losers.
Yeah, I don't think you're wrong in any way, shape, or form. I think that those all fit. So who's going to drink the rest of what? I'll drink the bed of nails. Unless you want the bed of nails, I'll drink Sweet Josie.
CJ, here you go.
Sweet Josie, that's the
Finish
Ellie's.
her off. There's your Ellie's.
Finish them off. Did you hear that?
There was a lot, yeah.
That sounded good though. That sounded better than the freaking the beer jazz.
You should use that as the soundbite if you can capture it.
Yeah, I could drink any one of these 3 beers and be perfectly happy with all of them. I don't think you miss anything. So once again, Lone Rider Brewing, we got Highwire Brewing, and that's in Asheville, North Carolina. The Sweet Josie is made
Raleigh.
by Lone Rider. It's in Raleigh
And Avery.
and then
Avery.
Avery Brewing is in
Boulder.
Boulder, Colorado. Yeah.
Go
I remember
Buffs.
that.
Go Buffs.
I
did
always
you
like their
see-
uniform. That gold, that old gold and black. I always like that.
Did you see that the governor of New York is going to allow fans...
Bills Mafia, baby.
Yeah, can you imagine the amount of tables that will be broken on Saturday?
I can't wait.
Saturday at 1 is going to be sold out at every retail store in Buffalo for tables. It is going to be a massacre for the amount of tables that will be destroyed. But anyway,
Yeah, Walmart just went on high alert to get more tables.
no shit.
Do you think that those fans, how many fans do you think they'll be allowed into the
6,700.
I thought it was 55.
It was
No, that's how many
67
are
Ah.
actually going to see the game.
Okay.
6,700 tickets.
Okay.
But 1,500 of them son of bitches are going to be freaking laying in a parking lot in a pool of vomit and snow and broken tables. Some shit's probably going to get set on fire too.
I can't wait to see Barstool what they're gonna retweet.
Oh, yeah. Barstool's the best for those guys. The next to our show, they're pretty good.
Yeah.
But you know how that is.
All right,
Yeah.
Vigna.
Yeah.
Thank you for being on the
Vig,
show.
It's always a
again.
pleasure.
Welcome back.
I love
show
trying the
guests, 'cause
beers
we've
and
been
talking
here.
football and sports.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, guys, I'm sorry for being away for a while, but Igor had to get healthy, so we had to make sure he was all good. But guys, don't worry, we'll be back next week. We'll talk
I'm
about the
feeling
wild
better.
card games.
I got another session of therapy tomorrow.
Happy-
I just don't have any strength in my
Happy
arm.
birthday to Coach too
Yeah,
here.
it's a birthday, man.
Birthday
Turned
episode. So.
Big 54.
Yeah, and I'm cooking him chicken, so he can
Yeah.
eat shit.
So I can eat shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'll be all right.
No, it's to me, it's my birthday, and I recognize that. And I tried to answer as many people on Facebook. It was really cool. I had a bunch of people that wished me happy birthday, and that's always cool that you have enough people to think about you and say something. And you try to respond to all of them and say what you're supposed to. I know how hard that is, but thank you anyway. And it was a good day. I had a good day at school. We had some, I had some fun with my kids in our government classes. It's always good to be around older kids that are, doing the right thing. Sorry,
before the teacher puts you to sleep.
Yeah.
We'll see you next week, guys. We'll talk about the playoff games.
Yeah, man.
And we'll see you next week.
Hey, send us your picks. Don't forget to send us your picks, man.
On Facebook and Twitter,
thepubqm@gmail.com. Send us your picks.
But
you got me, Biff, you asshole.
Yeah. You're a Saints fan. Is Saints versus Bears coming for your throat. All right. See you next week, guys. Peace out. Love you.
Peace.